Video number 247, using percents in various situations. Here are 4 questions. What is 50% of $2,400? What is 15% of $90? Which might actually be a relatively common question to ask, as people sometimes want to calculate what type of tip they should leave. And actually, I'm going to show you a method that's going to be faster than even ripping out the calculator that is so conveniently found on people's cell phones today. 15% is very simple to do. Very simple. I'll tell you now, actually, all you have to do is take 10%, which is $9, and then add half of that 10%, adding what? The other 5%. So you just do $9 plus $4.50, you get $13.50. It's very simple. You get rid of the calculator, you're done. What is 0.08% of 200? What is 315% of 50? Let's take a look at these 4 worked out. Here's the first one. Now, what we're trying to accomplish here in this first question is to establish a means for a strategy when trying to find a percent. 50% of 2,400 is the same as half of 2,400, and half of 2,400 is the same as doing half times 2,400. So hopefully we understand that when you want to do a percentage of another number, you must multiply the percent times the number. It's that simple. You can see it worked out here. If we wanted 30% of 2,400, we would take 0.30 and multiply it by 2,400. Okay, it's that simple. So therefore, we're going to multiply. 15% of 90, we just went through that in the first slide. 15% of 90 is 0.15 times 90. We just break that down into 10% of 90 plus 5% of 90. Therefore, $9 plus $4.50, you're going to leave a tip of around $13.50. Unless, of course, you want to leave 20%, then you'll leave $18. It's that simple. 8% of 200, 0.08%, so 8/100ths of a percent. You'll take 0.08%, convert that to a decimal, and actually I got to cross this out because we actually converted the 0.08 to the decimal, so it's no longer a percent. So 0.08 times 200. Therefore, now actually in this one, it's kind of interesting. What we did was basically like a scientific notation. Here's what I did. I did 8 times 2 to get 16. 8 times 2 is 16. So instead of doing 0.0008, I'm not even going to deal with the zeros. I'll deal with them later. 8 times 2 is 16. Then, how many decimals did we move? 4 back this way. And then here, 2 is 2 decimals this way, because if I have a 2, I'm using those 2 zeros as 2 decimal places. Here's the 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 on the negative side, 2 on the positive side, therefore a total of 2 on the negative side. So that's how we would come away with 16 times 10 to the negative 2, which is 0.16. That simple. Next one, 315% times 50. We take the 315, could turn it into a decimal, 3.15 times 50. I actually did this one in my head. I did 3 times 50 to get 150. Then I did 0.15 times 50 to get $6.50 if you want to use dollars. Of course, you can use your calculator here. You'll just take 3.15 times 50 and get 156.5. Next one. 14 is what percent of 80? So there's a different type of question. So this time, we're not given the percent, we're asked to find the percent. And then, of course, another type of question you'll see is this time you'll be given a percent. 25 is 35% of what number? So what would have been the denominator, in other words, for the second one? Here's the first one. We're obviously going to convert 14 over 80 to a percent. That's basically what this question's saying. This time they give you the 2 numbers. What is the percent? So therefore, we do 14 over 80. Now I tried to reduce this down to 7 over 40, but here's what's awesome. You can actually convert 40 to 100. You can just multiply by 2.5, right? Because 2 40s and half of a 40 is exactly 100. So 40 times 2.5. Well, 7 times 2.5. First you do 7 times 2, which is 14, then you add half of 7, so you add 3.5. So you get 17.5, therefore you get 17.5%. Now, of course, you can use your calculator and type in 14 divided by 80, but I just thought I would show you that there are simple little tricks that sometimes you can get away with. And in this case, because we were able to convert the 40 to 100, we were able to at least get a percent there in our head. At least, a lot of people can. The next one. We have 25 is 35% of what number? This was the second one here. We then make an equation. We can easily see that 35% equals 25 out of blank. So basically we're saying, 35%, if you hit 25 free throws and you're shooting 35% from the line, how many attempts did the person take? That's basically what this kind of question is. You could easily see that we could have said what number is 35% of, like, let's just say it was, 90. Well, then we would put x over 90. So you could easily see that this kind of question, you'll always start off with your percent on one side and your fraction on the other. Therefore, 25 over x. You can then convert the percent to a decimal. Then you'll go ahead and actually what I did here, I didn't show this here, but I used a proportion strategy as we have in previous steps where you go ahead and multiply on a diagonal here. So 25 times 1 is 25, and then 0.35 times x is 0.35x. Then divide both sides by 0.35, and in the calculator I got 71.424, 4285714, and then the decimal looks like it probably tries to repeat again that same pattern. So I went ahead and just rounded off to 71.4 to at least give us some kind of basis for it's about 71. So, all right, about 71 and a half. So there you have it, percentages, and we'll talk to you later.